Hello, guys. Welcome again to our Old Boys podcast. Today, we are lucky to be the three of us, and we have a very interesting topic today, which is fitness. We have a lot in line for you today. I am Lee Ngabo, the host for today, a graduate of computer science, and I've been joined today by John Wanga. He is a rugby coach, fitness coach, specializing in strength and conditioning. Um, he's actually fit enough, no pun intended. He's fit enough to be discussing this topic with us today. And on top of that, he's also an engineering graduate. Nonetheless, we are also being joined by Dr. Gilbert Kitua, a doctor by profession, who is also a gym owner, and he owns the company Keep Me Fit, which is a fitness company. So he's also fit enough to talk about matters fitness and also about Keep Me Fit. So it has been looming. So we will start. Um, I just want to ask the two of you. I want you to each one of you will give me a very short description of fitness. What do you think fitness is in as few words as possible? Uh, Coach.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that introduction. I think fitness for me is the ability to do what is expected, what is required for certain situations. So for fitness for a general person will be different for fitness for a basketball player, a rugby player, professional bodybuilder, CrossFit athlete. But for the general population, when we're saying you're fit enough, is you're able to do day-to-day human activities while maintaining healthy, while maintaining healthy standards, healthy medical standards. I'm sure Dr. Kitua will mention that there are parameters which you can measure to determine biological parameters in which you can measure to determine someone's fitness.
Mhm.
So it's not only the ability to do the things that you're required to do, but also to stay um, within the healthy range of a human being.
Mhm. Yes, and
Yeah,
Dr. What do you think fitness is? A very short description.
yeah. And just to add on what coach has said, fitness, I think, simply put, will be the ability of an individual to do day-to-day tasks without fatigue.
Mhm.
Um, so you find that the individuals who say even climbing stairs, it would be a challenge. Like after the first flight, you get that the people are panting something. So just being able to move around normally or to do your normal day-to-day activities without much fatigue, that will be fitness, being fit to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, coach, you are a fitness coach. What initially drew you to a career in fitness coaching? What really caught
Uh,
your eye and decided to uh, get into this path, or what really inspired you and took you into that field?
yeah, my interest in fitness actually it starts from my childhood. Um, as I'm sure many people had those who had the opportunity and the privilege to watch some of the movies we used to watch, the kung fu movies, the
Mm.
what was this
Yeah.
guy? John Claude Van Damme movies, and
Yeah.
there's always a sequence in a movie where the hero has to go somewhere to a camp and train, and then they become unstoppable.
Yeah, he has to
So
rediscover himself. Actually, it is something
yes,
philosophical. There is a whole philosophical background about that whole thing.
Uh, Lee, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Fast forward to high school now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get in primary basically, which is basic education in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
You we will do things like push-ups. We'll do just play in the playground.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll also do these races. We'll be racing, and I'm sure Lee, you can remember since we went to the same school.
Yeah,
We'll
we
be doing
rest
the
a lot.
things 100-meter races.
In
Yeah,
fact, we
we'll
used to
be
compete
racing a lot.
amongst each other who will get to somewhere the first.
Yeah,
There was a guy
yeah,
called Davis.
can,
We used to
yeah, it
call him
was like
Flash.
super fast. Yeah, and so yeah, so it's obviously as children we had that idea of fitness, and I remember even when I was like let's say sometimes there was water shortages in town, and you'd go
Mhm.
and fetch water at some river, so you had to climb a very steep hill to get up.
Mm.
So every time you're just challenging yourself,
Mhm.
and also I think it comes with the testosterone that comes with adolescence in males, where you just want to strive and do hard things, see whether
Mhm.
you can do them. So we'd be doing like push-up challenges as well in primary. So we just do push-ups. We're doing, I think you were able to do 25 at that time. I think Lee,
Mhm.
and
Mm. I was.
and now as a consequence of all, yeah,
I remember in terms of like push-ups, I was. That was my strong point.
definitely. And the fact that you could do 10 backflips when we were what I think we were 11 years old, 10 years old,
Yeah, we were around
and you
10
could do
years,
10
and I could
backflips in a
do.
row. That's like
I mean, I used to do backflips, man. I try to
yeah,
think about those days and how young I was, and I was able to do
yeah,
those backflips without any real form of like training and anyone really coaching me how to do it. I just learned on my own. It's
yeah, like which is incredible.
yeah, for
And I
real.
remember one instance where like the whole school is gathered around and you're doing backflips
Yeah,
on
yeah,
everyone.
and they really cheer you, and you feel, man,
Yeah,
this is like what I'm supposed to do in life.
and unfortunately, one of those training sessions of ours ended up with me having a broken right arm,
Yeah.
which wasn't very nice. But anyway, also as a consequence of what we were doing and the lifestyle we were living, obviously in the western part of Kenya,
Mm.
when we went to high school, we relatively looked stronger than most of our classmates. So
Yeah.
obviously, when someone sees you, then they tell you, "Hey, you guy, man, lazima ukuje Ruji.
Yeah.
You have to join rugby."
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I got into rugby, and I think
Hmm.
the thing that made me stay in rugby, because initially I didn't have much love for the game because most of it was just you can't feel your shoulders.
Yeah.
But uh, the thing that made me say is the fit. Like I enjoyed that fitness part. I
Hmm.
enjoyed running. I enjoyed doing push-ups.
The
And
six
then, but
con.
yeah, six one. And what I enjoyed the most was, but I hated crossover. Crossover that I hated. That one.
Crossover. I remember, and in fact, I was really thankful when it was banned. I really hated crossover. It was,
Yeah,
crossover was terrible.
I
I
think
think it was
crossover.
a thing. It was a thing where the Bucks enjoyed like more of the crossover and the running, say
And the 20
3 and 4,
minutes. In fact, there was even 30
and the
minutes
20 minutes.
at night.
Then the yeah, the forwards, you rarely find forwards loving like running about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you,
Mm.
for those who don't know, crossover was a run we used to do around the school. It's I think if you approximate it, it could be about it's maybe 4 kilometer loop, something like close
Mm.
to that, a 4 kilometer loop which you do, and part of it you're doing it backtracking. Another part there are hills there, so it was just tough. Um, but the thing that at the end of it was the results. I mean, you could just see. I mean, your feet. You're starting to look like those guys you were seeing when you were a kid. You have a 6 pack and 8 pack.
Man, we were
Mm.
jacked. We were jacked.
Yeah, man,
We were
you
really
were
jacked.
jacked. You
Mm.
like
Buff.
you have the respect of your peers.
Yeah.
We might have not known it then, but you also have some attention from the fair agenda,
I
which was
noticed
a
that
new.
when I moved over now to campus. It was
Yeah,
evident.
yeah. So we didn't know
Mm.
that then, but then it was something that came in later.
Yeah.
It's something you reap the rewards from. Yeah, but overall, too, you just felt good. You didn't get sick as much.
Yeah.
Um, you enjoyed doing things like, for instance, if people were told to run from uh, our houses to the class, for you it was just like a
Yeah, it just
simple
comes
job.
natural. It's just something simple. It's just like walking for you.
Yeah, and for someone else, then it's very tough. So
Yeah.
back to the journey. Now, once I was done with school, I remember at that time I started going to some started looking at some gyms around town,
Hmm.
around my hometown, and I was always going there being told, we bado ni kijana mdogo, we need you to be over 18. So the only thing, you couldn't go to the gym. So the only thing you can do is to just lift weights, carry water jerry cans, 20-liter jerry cans, and maybe make some makeshift weights. I remember kama unapata kuna mali kuna mjengo, unachukua you take that concrete, you put it into some paint cans,
You
una,
dried.
yeah, you dry it, and then you just lift it. That time you're
Mm.
just lift, but then you come back from holidays and people are surprised, but according what were you eating at home? Yeah, and and so from there, now after high school, um, I now went into campus, and for some time I just continued doing body weight exercises with a bit of gym, like once or twice. And then I think in my second year of campus, I started coaching, rugby coaching. And so all this time, I'm just working out at home in my house. I remember sometimes at some point, I was so disciplined. I would wake up at 1 a.m. because I had missed a workout in the morning, just to do the workout for that day. I would
To
work
cover
out,
it up.
yeah, to cover it up.
Hmm.
And then you're just, obviously, you're just doing your push ups and stuff and doing laps on the field. And then now I got into coaching. Uh, Obviously, I was for fitness, I was just coaching them the way I was being coached. So I'll just do the normal laps, do your push-ups, do your squats,
Hmm.
and then now I got an opportunity to go to a strength and conditioning course. Now this is post-COVID. No, during COVID, I remember now. During COVID, there was a webinar that Kenya Rugby Union organized. It's still on YouTube.
Hmm.
It's called Strength and Conditioning in Rugby. During that time, Kenya Rugby Union was, because there was no rugby, a lot of webinars were being
Mm.
organized where you could learn from experts, and then that would be posted on YouTube for those who did not attend, and then you can watch it. So there was a session held by a strength and conditioning coach from the Sharks rugby team in South Africa, and
Mm.
so he talked about just strength and conditioning. Uh, he was mostly talking about post-COVID, how
Mm.
to keep your players conditioned. So it really drew my interest. I think I've watched it about 2 or 3 times. And so when an opportunity came in 2021 to do a course in strength and conditioning, I believe it was in uh, August. I think it was August. Uh, to do a course in strength and conditioning, I did the online courses that were required by Kenya Rugby Union, and then I attended the 3-day course for strength and conditioning, which covered strength and conditioning for children, strength and conditioning for adults, and strength and conditioning for youth.
Hmm.
And so as I was doing these courses, I was really now starting to understand, okay, this is why you do this. This is why. So you understand. I knew the what. You know what a push-up is, but I didn't know the why. You know the why and the how.
Hmm.
So it really brought to me this understanding of understanding the why and the how, and then it really made me understand that I wasn't in the normal spectrum of fitness. Like, if you look at the general public, the things that I was able to do were not normal because for us when we were in high school, Like we just assumed, okay, anyone can do this, what you're doing. Like it's just
Mm.
stuff. But we didn't realize the amount of hours we had put in from all the from one to from four to be able to be that fit. And so once I understood that, then that when my interest sparked. And then when I went to that course, I met some very good. I had some very good coaches. So educators, they called educators, who were educating us on those strength and conditioning courses. Mike Shamia, who is the strength and conditioning coach for KCB. Malik Malik Ndemi, who is a world rugby educator for strength and conditioning. And
Mm.
finally, our last day, we were taught by Geoffrey Kimani, who is a world rugby strength and conditioning educator, and also he's Ferdinand Omanyala's coach, current coach, Swede
Oh,
coach.
Oh.
okay.
So then
Interesting.
from him, yeah, interesting. Yeah, his knowledge is absolutely it's mind boggling. You for and for and from him, you're just not. It's it was more than you were able to see. It was more than rugby. It was more than and conditioning for rugby. He was able to open my mind to strength and conditioning for many sports that he has been able to do because he has worked with Kenya volleyball. He's done a bit of work with boxers, and he has done also famously. He was the strength and conditioning coach when Kenya won the Singapore Sevens
Okay.
tournament in
Yeah, yeah.
2016.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, so and also them saying their journeys into strength and conditioning, and also being in a room where you're with people who are very interested in fitness, really fueled that interest. So that's the long story of my what sparked my interest
Yeah,
into strength.
quite a journey there. You've taken us through all those steps. Just before I pass over the same question to you, Dr. Gilbert, I just want to mention something that I was really I really wanted to say it, but I didn't want to cut you short. Um, what I've noticed about all this seeming effortless, there was a time I remember when I think I was in Form 1 or Form 2. Um, we used to be given a lot of punishments as junior students. Anything you do, you have to do a punishment. And the normal punishments that we were supposed to do are mostly push-ups. If maybe you're not running, you do some push-ups. If you have not cleaned up somewhere that you're supposed to clean up, you do push-ups. Just that was the basic form of punishment. So there was a time our whole dormitory as from ones.
Just before you continue, when for viewers and the listeners, when Lee says you do some push-ups, it's not three push-ups, it's not five push-ups. There are 20 push-ups plus.
Yeah,
So
there.
you're doing almost even sometimes 50
Handstop.
push-ups, sometimes
Yeah,
100 push-ups.
you have to do so many of them. So
Yeah.
there was a time when our whole dormitory as from ones we had not done something which I don't remember. I think we had not shown up for some training. There was some training that we used to do as dormitory during some competitions, like music
Music fest.
competitions, yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
we had not
Yeah.
shown up almost the whole lot. So we were rounded up and we were all told to go to the press up position, and you're all told to do push-ups. And and whatever I did that day, it felt so effortless. Still, I was singled out and I was taken to be like the example to these other guys. And I was told, "Can you do five?" I do five push-ups. Then they tell other people, "Have you seen what he has done? Can you stand up? Have you seen what he has done? All of you, can you do that?" But the rest of the guys were almost struggling. They were really struggling with that. Then they tell me, "Can you demonstrate again? Do five more." And to me, I didn't feel like I was really like tiring. I think I did like almost up to 40 push-ups that day, just trying to demonstrate and all that. And the average person probably did maybe 10 at most. And also something else, uh, you've talked about you used to, at some time when you were in campus, you could wake up at like probably 1 a.m. just to catch up with the previous workout. And also I think what also drew me in sports that time was because with sports you used to develop some sort of discipline, some sort of self discipline,
Yeah, yeah,
that you are part of a team and you're not supposed to let your teammates down, so you just have to do it. So it really cultivates some discipline into you that really it carries forward into also other fields. So in fact you used to find that the people who used to do sports, most of them used also to do well in class, because now you have this time management thing. You have to be in the field at a certain time. On the weekends you are mostly out for games, so now when you come back you also have to catch up with notes and what people were taught when you are not around. So it really cultivates this discipline into you, of which some things I do even nowadays, I can attribute them to the kind of discipline that I got during that period. And even when you talk about fitness, for something to seem effortless, there is always a period of time where you really put in the effort till it seems effortless. Yeah,
the-
yeah. So, Daktari, just the same question. What initially drew you to fitness or to start a career? You have this company that is it's a fitness company. It's a whole enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what really drew you to fitness and you know venturing into that direction?
Uh, so to start off, I think my interest in fitness started, yes, way early when I was still in primary school.
Hmm.
So for one, during that time, I think Kenya Sevens used to shine very much. I think around 2006 to 07. So I used to know Colin Sinjera most of the time. Yeah. So anytime
He's a
like
legend.
either yeah either on KTN or KBC during like the after the news when they're announcing like the sports results for sevens, I'd look up to like you'd hear Colin Sinjera and the Kenya Sevens performing well. So at first, I wanted when to I wanted to play rugby when I definitely when I grew up
Hmm.
uh, because of Colin Sinjera. Then still in primary school, there's this game Police and Thief. I don't know if you ever played it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I
I
was
was
a
always a
very good
thief.
thief. Yeah, I was a very good thief. I used to save my friends most of the time. So and then the yeah, the athleticism was there like from way early. And then to add on, I think you've known me for a long time, and my Masgwembe, gastrocnemius for those who understand English. Like
Calves.
it's been yeah, the calves. It's been it's been a standout feature for for a long time, even when we were joining from one. So just the physicality and looking good has always been part of like wanting to be fit. And then I also look at people when they grow old. It's usually very difficult for them like to do and embrace the little things we take for granted, like walking, even jogging.
Mm.
So it's been my goal to stay fit and even influence other people to stay fit for just to live a healthy life. So in high school, I remember I got the chance to play rugby. I think we were teammates. We were
Yeah,
even in the same
we
class
all
from
played in the
from the
same
way.
team. We all played in the same team.
Yeah, we were all playing in the same team. So I used to shine a lot in the workouts zenye Wanga anasema
Hizo za kukimbia hizo.
they were not his forte.
Hizo za
Yeah,
kukimbia
the
zilikuwa zinaniudhi
corsos
mbaya.
and the 20 minutes. Yeah. So I used to enjoy that very much. Like just getting to challenge yourself. I think not. Just getting to challenge yourself,
Mhm.
pushing yourself harder. Every session, uh, you want to outwork your teammate. That sense of competition, like the inter-team competition, but the healthy competition.
Mm.
So that's also been a factor. And then when I joined campus, definitely I didn't get the opportunity to play rugby that much. I think rugby in Kabarak was still fairly young, and my interest still in sports, yes, but I played a lot of football during that time.
Mhm.
So I'd play right back or sometimes even a right winger. And surprisingly, as Wanga said, you just get to understand the level of fit, fitness levels you are at post high school when you get to interact with other people like in campus.
Mhm.
Because then I never used to show up for the training sessions, but I'd be fit, I'd run for the whole 90 minutes, like up and down the field. So that is also something that like build up to eventually now, I think in 2021, post COVID, starting keep me fit. And
Mhm.
with regard to keep me fit, it's been it's been an idea for a long time. I think I involved you guys like in the formulation phase. But majorly prior to like starting even a physical location last year, I used to work out in my house, yeah, just using the online fitness apps. Yeah, you curate your own program and then you work out, and I think that was to me that was fulfilling in my own in its own way. And
Mhm.
then getting people like to start now asking you to give them the fitness plans, and getting a team like to work together. So later on in 2021, I think after my attachment, that is around August September, yeah, the September December holiday,
Mhm.
that's when I scaled up my like working out, because I wouldn't want to be like a fitness ambassador or a fitness someone telling people to work out, but I don't look the part. Yeah, so that's also yeah, that's also that has also been a challenge from way back. Like you want to look the part, so that even if people want to stay fit, they can use you as an example.
Mhm.
Let's say, yeah. So then 2021 starting Keep Me Fit, just the ideation. 2022 starting the real thing, majorly creating meal plans and fitness plans for people. So you get that fitness beyond just the physicality and the athleticism and moving about, it also entails like a part of nutrition in it. So you have to you need to know that you need to fuel properly.
Mhm.
Like if you look at fitness in a holistic manner, you
Mhm.
need to fuel properly so that you can perform well.
Mhm.
So that's also been a factor for like trying to, when especially now with Keep Me Fit, when trying to advise people and when engaging with people, you tell them that beyond working out, you also need to fuel properly for your body to for your body to let's say to use the nutrients properly.
Mhm.
Like there's no need for an individual to work out, yet the food they are taking will not one will not provide the energy they need to the the nutrients to build the muscles. That's what I'm looking to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you get that the different foods have different roles to play.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be a holistic approach.
Mhm. Uh, okay. You've talked about something, and I also remembered something similar. You've said that
Mm.
while you were in campus, you didn't play rugby, but you played football instead.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
for me, when I left high school and joined campus, the campus that I joined had no rugby team. Literally, there was nothing. But my friend and I, who had also played rugby in high school, we started that team from scratch. We used to play only two people, just passing and all that. Then we influenced other guys to join in. And exactly 1 year later, we had a team of about 15 people, and we had trained enough till we went to a certain tournament in Kenyatta University and actually won a trophy, the first ever trophy for that school, uh, the first rugby trophy. So the, the thing that I learned during that time that is related to fitness is what I know is that people usually want to work out, but they don't have the consistency, which I'm going to ask you guys about it just in a moment. They lack the consistency and the motivation to keep on doing it. So a good solution for that is find someone who has got a similar goal. The day that you don't have motivation, that other someone will motivate you, and vice versa. So you will end up pushing yourselves till you find some sort of consistency. And even aside from that, also throughout campus, I also had my guy I had a friend whom we used to live in the gym with. We were also with him in high school, and then we also happened to go with him to the same university. In fact, he was also my classmate in university as well. So we used to go to the gym with him always. When I don't feel like going, he used to come and pull me. When I feel when I feel a lot of motivation and a lot of enthusiasm, and I found him sleeping, I used to go and pull him. So till eventually there was some consistency. So for anyone struggling with the consistency, that's it's a good solution. Just find someone else who is like you. We always have people.
Uh,
In fact,
the
there is a very big online community on social media. Just pick at random, you'll find people there. In fact, even around you, if you go to the gym, you'll find people who live almost near you. Find a friend. You motivate each other, and you will find consistency. So, going into the question about consistency, um, it is actually a problem because everybody wants to work out, everybody wants to lose weight, everybody wants to feel fit. Some people also want to gain weight, and this is a process. You can't achieve all this overnight. It takes time. Everybody wants to be fit, but there is always the problem about consistency. So you guys have been I've been doing matters fitness, myself also included, for some time. uh, for me, the consistency thing, uh, I was able to solve it by just finding a group of people whom we share a common goal with. But for you, coach, you've actually coached some guys, a team of people, and if it's in a team, some people will come today, tomorrow they will not be around. Maybe they just don't feel like doing it, so they will just maybe mistrain intentionally, maybe because they lack motivation or something. So how do you deal with someone who is not consistent, or even for your own sake, you've not yet developed that discipline? So how do you deal with the lack of motivation and consistency to keep on working out every day, even when you don't feel like doing it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a very important question. That one, good question. So for the way you've stated it, you find a group of people, similar-minded people, or a person with whom you can do that. And in a team environment, it's very simple because you're all playing a sport. Um, Maybe in a high school you live in the same environment. For colleges, you live also in the same environment. So it's pretty easy to get that consistency. And even for in my own experience, I've also at some point struggled with consistency. It's not that when you hear someone is a strength and conditioning coach, you just assume that they're not affected by these issues of discipline and stuff.
Hmm.
So, and what assisted me, uh, and it's always something. It's to always visualize what 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 you'll be like
Mhm.
after you done that thing which is hard, right? So this is on an individual level before even you have a group of people. Always think, and once you put your mind into that state where this is good for me, this is good for me, this is good for me, so then it really instills that as that activity is being done, you enjoy the activity, not the end result,
Mhm.
but then you can use that end result as the motivation later. Like look, and also we live in an age of data, so you can also use data. Let's say you're trying to lose weight, and you if you measure your weight this week, or you measure your waistline, the size of your waistline. This week I was at this number, next week I'm at this number. That's what will keep you going. And so, for instance, for we do strength and conditioning for children and youth. When you're getting them into it, uh, you need to understand that there's a principle of strength and conditioning called individuality. Each
Mhm.
individual is different, and so if you're getting someone from uh, there's also a term called training age. There's your normal age, biological age. That's the
Mhm.
age that can be measured from the age of your organs and stuff. And then there's
Mhm.
this chronological age. That's the period of time from the time you were born to your current time. And then there's now training age. Training age is the amount of time you've spent doing a sort of structured or planned fitness or consistent fitness. So let's say a child started playing football when they were 4 years old, when they were 6 years old, and now you receive them in high school at when they are 13.
Mhm.
So that child has had 7 years, has 7 years training age. And then there's a child, let's say, who started only playing when they go to high school. And so those two people are very different. So the exercises you'll be doing for child A will be very different to what you'll do for child B.
Mhm.
Because if you generalize, then you'll give you probably what you'll probably do, you'll give exercises for that are meant for child A to child B, and then they just and then what happens is it becomes too hard for them, and then they can't keep up with it.
Mhm.
And if and also the reverse is true. If you give exercises of child B to child
Mhm.
A, then it's too easy for them, and then they will not be reaping rewards from it. They won't be seeing the rewards from it.
Mhm.
So, and that's what happens, I think, with many people who start because who start getting interested in fitness. Because remember, if you're getting interested in fitness, or if you're dealing with a problem of consistency, that means
Mhm.
you started at some point,
Yes.
which is a commendable thing. And most people are able to start, so they're just taking that first step to go into that gym, that place, that gym in your estate where you see big guys coming from. That
Mhm.
first step to get in there. And then what happens when they get into those gyms is that they are introduced. They start lifting what the biggest guy is lifting, and it just can't work. You can't
Like,
just get into a gym and
no,
start benching. Yeah, and
no,
start
no, no.
benching.
Impossible.
Yeah, start benching what Lee is benching.
Mm.
You probably
I mean,
you
you can't.
you can't. And even if you find something that you can do, but it's still hard, then the next day you're so and and also the messaging in gyms that you know if you're not able to take the pain, then you can't take the gain.
No
This
pain, no gain.
no gain. These are all good messages, but then there should be some
Mm.
underlying facts and information underneath it.
Yeah.
So if you're starting out, and I think it happens to many women, many young men who are interested in going to the gym, but they or being fit. Let's use the being fit, but their only understanding of being fit is just lifting weights and lifting heavy weights. And if you're not lifting heavy weights, well, you're not working out. Um, and it's a thing that people should understand that I think Jordan Peterson says this: if you're not in very good shape, uh, the goal that you can achieve tomorrow won't be as glorious as you'd hope, especially in this time of social media where you're just seeing people posting videos of them doing PRs, personal records, benching crazy numbers. The goal that you will achieve as an individual, it won't be as big as what those guys are achieving. So you have to set realistic goals. If you set realistic goals, let's say you're doing 5 push-ups today, and you can do them well, and you do 7 push-ups tomorrow, like that's a great percentage in your improvement.
Mm.
You were doing 5 yesterday, now you can do 2 more, 2 out of 5. You're about 40% improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can just keep that and have people around you, as you say, have people around you who can reinforce that, having good trainers, good uh, partners for the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and then now you can start cultivating that consistency. And then once you start cultivating consistency, then you'll try to find harder and harder challenges. Yeah, that big guy you're seeing in the gym didn't start out as a big guy. He was just probably like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and and so if you just put in the work, set realistic goals, have a good supportive environment around you, and supportive doesn't always mean it's positive. It's not like you miss training for 7 sessions in a row, and then someone will be positive. Someone should be positive with you. No,
They should tell
you
you the truth in your face.
yeah. So sometimes you have to, in leadership they say you have to use a carrot and a stick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so sometimes you have to use a stick for someone to get the message, but mostly use the carrot. People
Mm-hmm.
are more motivated by the carrot, and yeah, I think that answers it.
Yeah, I think also like Dr. Gilbert, you've also faced this thing now that you know you are running a gym. We have
Yeah.
people who maybe just show up for the first 3 days only. After that, you'll never see them, and yet they have maybe like paid for some premiums that they actually need to be using. Like logically speaking, if you pay for something, why not use it? It's like going a waste, but still they won't show up. They show up maybe for the first one
Yeah.
week,
So
and you'll never see them for the rest of the month. So how do you motivate such people and make sure that they actually follow up with the routine that is set up for them?
yeah, so consistency is a big challenge. I've even faced it at some point, especially when running a business, and even when running a business and still at the same time trying to keep fit, it's a
Mm,
challenge.
mm,
So the issue of consistency has been, I've even faced it. But then for our clients, the first thing we advise them is you need to know your why. Like, why are you coming to the gym? There are usually three major goals why people would come to the gym. So one would be, you either want to lose weight. Two, you either want to just stay fit, like you like your body mass, you like the way you look, but you want to increase your fitness level or just stay fit. Then three, others want to gain muscle mass. So first of all, you need to have a clear goal, and it needs to be realistic. Like
mm,
for example, for weight loss, on average, people will lose 1 to 1.5 kg a month.
mhm,
So if you come to the gym trying to lose beyond that, which is not advisable, then at the end of the period, when you haven't met your goal, you'll easily give up. That would be one. Know your why, set realistic goals.
mm,
Two, we encourage people to come at least for 3 sessions a week. Because remember, for as much as you've paid your money and you want to work out, to build consistency, you you better be consistent than have much intensity at the beginning. So you can have 3 sessions spread out through the week. One, at least for certain days, say if you choose Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you know that every day, just like having a doctor's appointment, you know that, say, I need to go see my doctor on Tuesday. So in your mind, at the back of your mind, you know that this day, this time, you need to be in the gym. So you need to schedule your workouts. And the reason we say at least 3 sessions a week is you you need to work out, yes, and your body also needs to recover. So you can't go all in and not give your body enough time to recover. So usually for people who come in, especially if you're a newbie or if you're a beginner in the gym, you'll find that for the first 1 or 2 weeks, like it will be very painful and your body will be sore. So if you try coming to the gym like for 5 days out of 7, you I'm sure by the end of week 2 you won't want to come to the gym again because it will
Yeah.
be very painful. You have activated muscles you never touched.
Hmm.
Yeah, so start easy, then build up the momentum with time. And then the issue of gym bros, we like gym bros is as you mentioned, you need to have a partner, a training partner, someone who your goals align, so that even if it's during a group session, at least you have someone you're looking up to, someone you're pushing each other with to try and achieve your goals. So I think those are the major things we do with our client. And then just on our end, we do follow up, like
Hmm.
we track their progress with them. We follow in to see how they're faring. So I think on our end, we also try to help them stay consistent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. There is also something that I want to ask you guys. Something about mental resilience. Mental resilience. Uh, we have two types of people who do this fitness stuff. Maybe someone is doing it because his profession requires him to. Let's say, for example, maybe they are doing some sport as a profession. Maybe someone is a professional runner, an athlete. Maybe they play rugby, they play football, whichever sport. It's not the same as someone who is working out just to stay healthy. For the person who is doing it professionally, I think they will have an easier time with mental resilience because their job requires them to. They just do it because, well, it's my job, so I have to do it. But for these other guys who are majority of the people, you need some form of mental resilience while you are working out. And this is different from the motivation and the discipline that we've just talked about. Let's say, for example, you are doing reps, bench press, and or maybe squats. So you've squeezed out all the reps that your shoulders can offer during a certain set. And you've never really, in your mind, maybe you want to do 15 reps, but you've reached 10 and that is your limit. Then you need to squeeze out some extra reps, something of the sort. So for you probably to be able to push some limits, there is a combination of things. Of course, there is growth. You need to keep on pushing yourself for a period of time, but there is also the mental resilience that comes with it, which will actually you're really physically tired and fatigued, but you can always squeeze out an extra rep, and it's actually during that extra rep that maybe uh, some particular muscle fibers will be activated that have never really felt the push. Well, I'm not a physiologist really, and I think I really want to ask you guys, how does that really play a role? I've felt it myself while I'm doing some workouts, and the reason why I'm asking this is because there is something called a flat line. uh, you can be working out and you need to achieve a certain goal. Like probably you want to look jacked or you want to gain weight. We have people who want to bulk up, and there is also a procedure for that. But you can work out and achieve a certain level of fitness, then for a period of time you'll feel that there is a flat line in your fitness journey. So you need some mental resilience to probably push you much further than what you've been used to doing. So how do you how do you deal with that? Or if you have such a person, how do you how do you talk to them, and how do you motivate them? Or if if it's maybe, let's assume it's me and I need to like push more reps out of me. So like what am I supposed to do so that I can achieve that thing that I want to achieve to get jacked? Mhm. I will start with you, coach. I think you know about the physiology of the conditioning and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we'll use that example of getting jacked. So
Mm.
getting jacked basically is, uh, layman terms, having big muscles. Having big muscles, that is hypertrophy, where there's muscle growth. Um, where your muscles to be bigger, to look good. Um, so I think I'll answer this by I find that, especially in this new generation, the best way to make them understand something, or to make them see the value in something, is for them to understand the science behind it, or what is working behind it, because they're not just people who see things and then take them for what they are.
You like
They,
proof.
they like proof, and they like to know. Yeah.
Mm.
Before they even go to a doctor, they've googled everything about what they're going through. So it's important to explain to them what's happening. So let's say you wanted me to use an example of a guy who's flatlining. So
Mm.
let's say Lee has been going to the gym, um, and now at some point he has reached a point uh, where his gains, as they're called, which are what you get from training, have become more or less, they're not there. He's not gaining anything. And so we need to go back and look at where did these gains first come from. So when Lee stepped into the gym for the first time, uh, so Lee went and started doing bench press, squats. So what happens is the body sees exercise as a stress. So this is the first principle of strength and conditioning, which is adaptation. So the body physiologically, your body sees exercise as a stress being placed on the body. So and exercise, that's exercise which you do, uh, which is above the normal, because you don't most people don't get sore from walking, doing their daily walks, um, let's say from the nearest shop to the house. They don't get sore from that, so that's normal. But then when you walk, if I tell you to walk for 10 kilometers, then the next day you're feeling sore, because that's above normal. So Lee does a bench press for the first time in his life, so that's a stress on the body. The body muscle tears occur, and the body realizes, and all there's a whole pathway of from neurological adaptation to tendons to ligaments in the joints, strengthening of the bones, which happens as a